Early Christians respected this book so deeply they called it the Fifth Gospel. Its author lived and died 7 centuries before Bethlehem, never meeting Jesus or hearing a parable. Yet the scroll Isaiah left behind is the most quoted Old Testament book in the entire New Testament. Most readers walk away confused because the 66 chapters feel like 2 different books slammed together. One half focuses on fire and judgment, the other on tenderness and comfort. This story begins in 740 BC, a year of political instability following the death of King Uzziah. He had reigned for over 50 years, and an entire generation had never known another ruler. Uzziah's downfall came when he entered the temple to burn incense on the altar, a job belonging only to the priests. The historical record says leprosy broke out on his forehead right there in front of everyone. He spent his remaining years quarantined and cut off from the people. To the ancient Israelites, this event proved that entering God's presence without an invitation was a death sentence. During this crisis, Isaiah walks into the temple and sees the true king on a throne that never goes empty. Above him stand the seraphim, or burning ones, beings stationed around the presence of God. They chant a single Hebrew word, Kadosh. While we translate this as holy, the root points to separation. It describes something so distinct that no comparison exists. Isaiah reacts with paralyzing fear, expecting total destruction. Seeing his own impurity against this flawless presence, he cries out that he is undone, silenced and ruined. This establishes the central tension of the book. If God is holy and humanity is flawed, contact between the two appears impossible. A seraph flies to Isaiah with a live coal taken from the altar and touches it to his lips. The fire does not destroy the prophet, it heals him. The seraph tells him that his iniquity is taken away and his sin is purged. This is the thesis of the entire book. Divine holiness functions as a furnace, burning away sin to restore the sinner. This paradox shapes the book's architecture. The first 39 chapters deal with the disease of judgment, while the final 27 announce the cure of comfort. Within these sections, a cycle repeats. Apostasy leads to judgment, which leads to restoration and a deeper understanding of God. The God of judgment and the God of comfort are the same. Holiness simply works in 2 directions to save. How does God deploy this healing fire to the nations? Over the decades of Isaiah's ministry, his answer shifts from a conquering king to a different figure entirely. By chapter 53, he describes a servant, a man of sorrows acquainted with deep physical anguish. This figure is despised, rejected, and crushed. Just as the coal came from the sacrifice on the altar, this servant absorbs the consequences meant for others. He is pierced for transgressions, so that by his wounds others are healed. This scroll contains the Hebrew text written 7 centuries before the Romans began using crucifixion. It describes a quiet servant who offers himself willingly to bear the burdens of his people. This is the ultimate expression of holiness, God providing the remedy on humanity's behalf. In a synagogue in Nazareth, a young rabbi unrolled the scroll of Isaiah and read a passage about healing the brokenhearted and proclaiming liberty. He then told the room the scripture was fulfilled in their hearing. Jesus was claiming that the mighty king, the crushed servant, and the anointed conqueror described across Isaiah's 66 chapters were all the same person. This servant's mission didn't end at the cross. Isaiah hinted at a life after suffering, transitioning into an ongoing work of mediation for humanity. All of Isaiah's disparate, decade-spanning visions converge on the singular mission of this one individual. Isaiah's vision reaches past the cross into the distant future. He describes the creation of a new heavens and a new earth, where exile and tears are no more. He highlights the endurance of the Sabbath rest in this new creation. By referencing the rhythm established at the very beginning of the Bible in Genesis, Isaiah shows the vision closing the circle back to the relational intimacy found before sin entered the world. To live in this hope, Isaiah uses the word kavah, meaning to wait. It describes a deliberate process of weaving your life into God's purposes, like twisting fibers into a strong rope. The gap between our flaws and God's holiness is real, but the fire of that holiness is the deepest proof of His love. The fire we naturally fear is the fire that saves us.